Good afternoon, Blue Devil sports fans. This afternoon I have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Willertz from Sports Leader. Chris, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Rob?
Good. We go way back at another high school where we on the same coaching staff in football, and it's great to see you here, Chris, because I know all the things, all the positive vibes and core things that you bring with you will make the Blue Devil football program that much better.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Last summer, mid-July, Coach McLaughlin brought you and your program to Blue Devil football. Tell the fans briefly about what you guys covered mid-July and how that went from your perspective.
Well, Rob, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of coaches, a lot of parents, and a lot of athletes are looking into sports specialization.
Okay.
Go to this clinic, go to that clinic, learn this skill, learn this technique. And we love it. At Sports Leader, we love that parents and athletes and coaches are really getting after it.
Okay.
But what we're really discovering is interpersonal communication, team building, where teammates challenge each other, confront each other, improve each other, is becoming more and more lacking.
Yes.
And so Pat was like, you know, Chris, what can you do with my guys as far as team building, strengths and weaknesses, playing on each other, and kind of creating more of a team dynamic.
Sure.
And at Sports Leader, where I'm employed, that's a lot of what we're doing. And
Nice.
so that summer session was, all right, guys, what do we need to do to improve the strengths on each other and then cover each other's weaknesses and make this a better team so that we can utilize our skills better.
Based on your first session, you said it was a few hours, mid-July. As you went to your car and kind of recapped, what were your thoughts on your first session with the Blue Devils?
My thoughts were, I was very impressed with the underclassmen. Pat's sophomore class, going to be juniors next year, he has a big class, very vocal,
Okay.
very interactive, very, 2 or 3 or 4 kind of took the reins and stood up and acted like leaders, only as sophomores on a varsity football team. And the freshmen were similar.
Okay.
So when walking away from it, I know as upperclassmen you kind of get entrenched in who you are and what you do and what the program's been, which is fine, but seeing the underclassmen stepping up like that they did that day, I was really impressed.
Very nice. So as you put together your program for 2015 for the Blue Devils, will you add pieces? Will you enhance? What's the plan for Sports Leader?
We are constantly growing. We are constantly improving. I work with the wrestling coaches at Ohio State. We work with the wrestling coaches at Moeller. We just signed on Thomas More College. We're working with all the athletes at Thomas More College with drug and alcohol awareness in addition to team building. And we are getting more and more experience working with coaches and athletes, and we're just improving on what we're doing, which is awesome. So as far as next year's session, we are definitely looking at improving. It's kind of like stepping out to being a leader is difficult. So what do you do to then support those guys that make that decision that they're going to be special? Sure. Because our culture, sadly, a lot of our culture isn't about being special, it's about being the status quo. Right. So giving support to those leaders, giving them skills, I think is definitely a need for all programs. Perfect.
Well, if anyone stumbles across this interview on readingathletics.com, I would love to give you a plug. How can an AD, a coach, even at the youth level, get in touch with Chris Willertz at Sports Leader?
We have a website. It's www.sportsleader.org. Okay. And there you can get a lot of information. My personal email address is Chris, C-H-R-I-S, at sportsleader.org. Okay. And you can contact me via that way. Those would probably be the 2 best ways. Right. And you could even Google Sports Leader. We are making not many inroads. We've been in existence for 11 years. Okay. And we did some stuff with Dan Enos up at Central Michigan. So there's plenty of stuff on the internet. If you just Google Sports Leader, I'm sure you'll be able to get some stuff on us. Great.
Well, I'm excited to see what you work your magic here for the Blue Devils. I know it'll be great. I've seen you work for years, and excited to be connected again with you, Chris, and best of luck, and thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Rob.